you're going to give some advice, and students can actually act on it, which Sadler says is very important. I really agree, and that we need to gauge efficacy, because a lot of effort goes into this sort of work from tutors through the student action, and that they need to practice what they're going to be doing in their summative assignments. Now, Bobby Elliott from SQA has given us a set of characteristics which he thinks are important for assessment 2, which he's calling assessment 2. And I've added here on the slide advice for action, which I think that he's actually omitted here. Not that I disagree with any of the characteristics that he believes are important in the next form of assessment. So really what I'm about and what I'm trying to achieve here is creating teaching and learning dialogues. And I think we'll know we're successful when students who are moving into a new area actually can start to understand what they don't know. They're learning to judge, but they're also given some reassurance. And they can, I think the number of questions that are asked to tutors and in different forums will actually increase. And we found some of that happening at the Open University. Why do I think dialogue's important? Because I believe it does foreground the importance of responsive approaches to teaching and learning. And it makes explicit this active process of interpretation and response. I do want emotion to be recognized. And if we don't start to think about these learning dialogues and encouraging students, giving them the sorts of tasks where they can reflect and gauge their own learning, I'm not sure this co-constructed meaning will emerge, and also assisted with collaborative learning tasks. And I don't think we should forget really what the students want. And in fact, I was quite surprised to find this in the Times Higher Education in January last year, where the National Union of Students in the UK has set out and published what they believe to be principles of effective assessment. And I don't think any of us would actually disagree with any of these statements, and that we should be moving towards this and to pick up the challenge so that we no longer have a wolf in sheep's clothing. Thank you very much indeed. That's the end of the presentation. I'd like to hand over to you and to open the discussion.
Thank you very much, Denise. It's been great. Can I suggest people, if they want to talk, they use the hand button, which is located at the bottom of the participant list at the bottom of the screen there. So if you'd like to ask a question underneath or make a comment, put up your hand.
Open mentor.
Yeah. Well, when you were saying there was a waiting between the preliminary and the before question and the after, whether the students had 2 goes at it.
Yeah, they did.
Did you find an idea, or did they find an idea, and if so, what was it?
Yes, they did. It was skewed towards, I think it was 2/3 on the first attempt.
Right, thanks. That's great. And we're thinking of sort of doing things like that. The other questions I had before was, are you able to download your open comment system and install it into a different Moodle system? For example, our transforming assessment
I'm not sure you can do that yet. We're working on it.
Okay, thank you. We'd love to know when you do have it available.
Okay. We've got a problem at the moment with PHSP programmers. So we're getting some more staff in to try and help with that, with a backlog.
Right, it's written in PHP, is it?
Yeah.
The other thing I'm curious about is how does it know when you're answering or when the student is answering the question correctly or not correctly? Do I assume there's quite a bit of training and model answers and things like that you might need to put into it before it can actually...
Yeah, it's vector analysis is going on from a classification system. You've got to put stuff in, yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. What sort of time commitment is that? If you want to set up a question, normally, say, for example, it might take you, 10 minutes to write a question. How much sort of training time would you have to put in? How many variations of possible answers to do a decent job?
I think once you know how to use the system, I think it's going to take you about an hour and a half, 2 hours per question.
For each per question?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of upfront work.
Upfront investment, I suppose, for the academics, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. That's why I think maybe you need a team of academics together and some sort of specialist, IT specialist, and then you'd move everything along really quickly. Because we're not at the stage yet where we can...
Yes, sir.
I don't think we're at a stage yet where it's, just not like multiple choice. It's not there yet. We're still struggling along this road.
Are you able to use one question of the model for the next one, or do you really have to totally rewrite it again for each new question? I'm thinking like, can you set up templates and then...
Well, it depends. No, you can use it if you, you could do it that way, Matthew, if you have a set of questions around a theme.
Because you're picking up keywords, sorry, I'm not familiar with what is vector analysis, so excuse my ignorance.
Yeah, okay, but you could do that around a theme. Like you've set up a set of questions that are around a big issue, like what are the causes of something. But you can do it much more quickly if you've got things like with tables that you want to look at, or maps even. There's a difference in a map of France. The regions in France changed with time, because the boundaries changed for whatever reason. And then you can show two maps and you can say what are the differences, and then that's easier to do. It's picking your question, Matthew, as well.
Yeah, sure. Completely understand. But I suppose it does sort of limit its usefulness somewhat. You have to have quite structured questions, I'm assuming, yes?
Yeah. But then you have to learn how to use multiple choice questions as well, don't you? You have to become an expert in, finding distractors.
Quite right.
Yeah. So there's always this big...
Quite hard.
Yeah. And this is harder in some sense till you get to know how to use it. And this is where I think we need, a good body of people using some particular software, and we can exchange expertise and know-how. Because we're still feeling our way with this.
Build up a bank of questions shared among students, for example.
Yeah.
And if you're going down the open source road and you've got exchangeable formats and things like that, help a lot on that road and proprietary kind of solutions.
absolutely.
Okay, after all, I'll stop dominating. Anybody else want to ask some questions? Feel free to type also. Okay, it doesn't look like anybody wants to ask questions. Perhaps we'll finish up the session. And thank you very much for Denise for her time, particularly because it's so early in the UK and freezing cold, etc. So you might want to go and get some hot coffee and warm yourself up.
Well, thank you very much. The hardest thing was not seeing you all. I found that quite difficult, actually. I didn't think I would so much. But talking to my screen was quite problematic at times.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah, which I had to do. Anyway, thank you very much. I enjoyed talking to you. And Martine says here she missed the beginning. Will there be a recording available? I think there will be, won't there, Matthew?
Yes. All the recordings are on our Transforming Assessment website. So if you go to transformingassessment.com and then follow the links to the webinar sessions, the previous archives and things like that, there's a whole list of them. I'll also email around a list of you. RFC, and after that, because I've got your email address, so I'll send you out a notice when the archives are available.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I'll log off now. And take care, and I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Bye-bye now.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks. Bye-bye. Again, Shamin just put up our link for our YouTube channel, which they also appear under. All right, thank you very much, folks, and I hope you join us again for another Transforming Assessment session. We're having one on the 15th of December, relating to future assessment. Thank you very much, and goodbye.